What's your ghost slash creepy slash paranormal story? 1. My great-grandmother watched my great-grandfather die. They were truly in love forever. After he died, she woke up every morning and said damn it, because she was ready to pass away. My great-aunts would hear her talking on a baby monitor they set up talking to members of the family who had already passed. Finally one afternoon, they heard her go, "John, finally. Why are you always late?" They were frozen as John was my great-grandfather's name. They walked in 10 minutes later and she passed away. She was just waiting for her husband to come get her. 2. This is one my grandma used to tell about one of her aunts. They lived in Laos during the Secret War. Her aunt started talking with one of the American soldiers and he started learning basic Hmong. After some time though, he stopped showing up. The basic consensus was that he was dead, but she kept waiting for him. When things got really bad and the bombs started dropping, they fled to the caves for shelter. One night, as everyone is sleeping, she hears a familiar voice. It's the soldier. He's mumbling in a very broken Hmong, "I'm back for you," over and over again. Her eyes are still closed until she feels something reach out and grab her shoulder and slowly move down to her hand. When it reached her hand, she said it wasn't a human hand at all, but like a large animal paw. She briefly opened her eyes to see a dark figure, clearly not human though, standing over her. Then, she heard her aunt get up. Something was said but she couldn't make what it was. The figure then left and the aunt followed. This was still in the middle of the night, mind you. The aunt was never seen again. The story is that the dead soldier came back to take her with him. Or something else imitated him in order to take her. 3. My BFF once mentioned to me that her BF could see slash feel ghosts slash spirits. He's kind of a one-upper so I brushed it aside and never thought more of it. One Saturday night, we are hanging out at my house, where I lived with my mother at the time. We weren't drinking, just hanging out and chatting. Suddenly he went very still and silent. My BFF asked him what was wrong. He said he felt a presence in the house and it was very strong. He told us to keep chatting like we were and he was going to feel for it. BFF and I returned to our gossiping. A while later he speaks and mentions the spirit is in the kitchen and it appears to be male, at least to him it does. He says it doesn't feel like other spirits though, more like a good presence slash guardian angel type deal. I still don't really believe him, so I start asking question. He says the entity is definitely related to my family and that he is young. Then suddenly, he turns to me and asks, "Did your mom have a miscarriage?" The blood drained from my face and I got goosebumps everywhere. My mother miscarried a child before me. It would have been her boy, my older brother. There is no way he would have known that about my mother, because my BFF had no idea either. Then he said, had she named him? He's trying to tell me his name. It starts with an A. I started trembling. My mom had told me she had planned to name him Alex. He went on to explain how he believes it is my unborn elder brother, and he's a guardian angel figure to my mother. He assumed he was there at that time to watch over her. It was unbelievably scary and accurate because at the time, my mother was going through a really rough time, depression. I never doubted his ability after that. When I told my mother about what had happened the next day, she was sobbing and always thought that the presence she felt by her side was her grandfather whom she had always been close to, not her unborn older son. I still get chills to this day just thinking about it. 4. A girl I knew for a few years and was very good friends with passed away in a car accident. A few days later I have a dream that she's standing in the center of the road and I'm barreling towards her. I run into her but then she appears in the seat beside me. She forces my head toward her abdomen. Where her stomach would be there's a large mouth. The teeth are made of broken glass and sharp metal. She keeps saying, "Bitch, bitch." I wake up from the dream and I'm still hearing, "Bitch." I look at the foot of my bed and she's standing in my room. She walks through my door and into the hallway. I follow her. She walks down the hallway and vanishes through the front door of the house. I didn't realize at the time but my dad was on the couch. He asked me if I was okay and asked if the flickering lights are what woke me up. He didn't see her and I never noticed the lights flickering.